contact with some of his generals. You know, I've been in contact with a couple of his generals. And I'll tell you what, there's something else. They are something else. They only hope you don't know the Bible, so you can't pick apart how they're manipulating and twisting it to death when they quote it. But they come against the wrong person when they come against me. Been reading that Bible since I was able to read. Many times. I couldn't even tell you. Probably the book of Revelation about 1,000 times. Surprisingly, I read word by word memorized. A lot of the books in the Bible, you know, most of them I did have memorized for a long time, you know. Just so much over the years. And so I know their favorite quotes and their favorite passages they love to hammer on. And that's why I encourage people to not put your faith in the book, in a Bible. Put your faith in God. Put your faith in Him. Because these guys are masters of deception. The RCCs had a hold of the KJV well before it came into print. All of the manuscripts and the books that were compiled of the KJV. And they're going to claim this Sananda, this Maitreya, they're going to claim to be the writers of the KJV, folks. They're going to claim to have written the New Testament. They're going to claim to, most likely this Sananda, this Jesus Sananda, Emmanuel, he has several different names. I want you to know all of them so you know him when he arrives. He's going to claim to have written the Bible. And he's got a photographic memory, and so he can just shoot it off as much as he wants, so that you think he actually is the writer. They're very good. They're very good, folks. They have photographic memories. And he is also the one behind the near-death experiences so that people will think he's God. Oh, I saw him when I was dead. That's the person I saw when I died and came back to life. He's the one that's been playing behind the scenes, this Jesus. I also believe it's this Sananda, this Jesus, that took Meredith K. Baxter on her 40-day journey to hell. I believe it was him that took her. But I believe she saw what she saw, without a doubt. I believe she did see what she saw. They just opened up hell for her so that he could solidify himself more and more as Jesus. Because that's what this Sananda, this Jesus, needs to do. He needs to replace the Yahushua, the Son of God of the churches. He wants them to accept him as God, as this Jesus. Because that's his name anyway. If you're worshiping the Son of God by the name of Jesus, you're worshiping the Satan's general named Jesus. Because his real name's Yahushua, folks. The Son of God's name is Yahushua. Gonna get into some letters from some listeners. If you have a question or a comment or something for the show, you can send it to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. Probably just get into a few of these tonight. Email from a listener. Guess what? Prayer to the Most High actually works. Duh. Since I offered up those prayers in the last email, your broadcast hasn't cut out once. Great show tonight, by the way. Keep on conditioning your listeners with truth, Sherry. I've had all kinds of confirmation of this in my own walk with the Most High. Bless your heart, girl. My heart is still crying out to God Most High for your protection. You're not alone. Stay strong, faithful warrior. We love you. Thank you for all your hard work for His kingdom and His children on earth. Well, thank you. A nice email from somebody. Not going to say any names, obviously for their own protection. Where do you get the info that the angels ruled the planets before mankind? Angels didn't rule the planets, they lived on them. That was their civilizations. That's where they lived. And they just lived pretty much like lives almost like we have today. Vastly more technological than what we have today. And they served the Lord. There was no, earthly divisions and governments and races and things like that. It was a different kind of civilization we can't even imagine. I have heard human means serpent. anything to this. Hugh, man, something about Hugh being the sun god. Something about Hugh, the acronym, the first part, prefix of human. Yeah, probably pretty close to serpent. Why were humans created at all? Then he answers his own question. For relationship with Yahweh. Doesn't he have a relationship with the angels? Why did he need us? Why were we put on a prison planet with the demons when there are so many other planets he could have put us on? What is our purpose to exist? All good questions. You have to understand that everything and each one of us are put here for the will of God, the will and purpose of God. And he knows what that is, and some of us takes our entire lives to figure out what that is for ourselves. But it never becomes more clear than when you start faithfully praying for the truth in all things every day, asking him to reveal the truth to you in all things, that the only reason we're here is for him. It becomes perfectly clear. We're here for him. It's almost like we're sitting in a Garden of Eden. We have shopping malls, we have fancy cars, big houses. Society steers you into a conditioning, a box of how you're supposed to live your life. You go to school, enter school at 5 or 6 years of age, and then you get a career. All that sucks. It's just like, is this the only reason? There's got to be more than just doing the routine, being part of the establishment of getting an education, getting a job, and just materially surviving the rest of your life. And when you break out of the box with your emotions and your mind, and the Lord can start revealing the truth to you, just realize we're put here for him. Because nothing else matters to me on earth, and I've been through all that. The private schools, the college, was on the fast track of having a career in journalism and news broadcasting. And you realize that all that means nothing. It means nothing. Because when I would pray for his will to be done, it seemed to always be at odds with my own will. It's like, that's not what I wanted. That's don't pray and ask the Lord his will be done if you're not serious. Because my idea of his will being done was opening more doors for jobs and a bigger and better career. His will for me was that I leave all of it behind and just serve him and sit at his feet. And so I had to make a decision. Am I going to go the way of the world? I could have a nice job, good paying job and a career. Or am I going to give all that up to just sit at his feet and live in poverty the rest of my life? And you know what? It didn't take much, because I love him. Since I heard his name when I was 2 years old, I just fell in love with him. Been in love with him since. And so I had to realize that what I wanted was at odds with what he wanted. And so I had to give up me to serve him, to become what he wanted me to be. And so I gave all that up to just be what he wanted me to be. And so today, that's what I am. I'm a warrior for him. I do what he wants. I've done what he asks. I seek to please him, to make him happy. That's the whole extent of my life. Is to make him happy. Is to do what he needs me to do what he asks me to do, to be that go-to person for him. Because it really is amazing. I've learned so much in the Bible codes that he's taught me, and how to read the Bible codes, because there's so many different ways. But when the Lord teaches you, he teaches you his way. And it's at odds with the way everybody else does it, obviously. Because there's only one right way, and that's his way. But you see that there's a difference between all of the people that follow his various different people that love him and follow him. It's always a distinction between someone who loves him and serves him and someone being a go-to person for him. Someone that he can depend on, that won't let him down.